I don't know about
Hey.
you, but I don't believe in sound.
Oh, well, if that is the way we're running for, because welcome to Lies and Scandal, everybody!
Hello, welcome.
Hi, greetings, salutations.
And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night.
Hey!
All
good
that.
brunch. Good
Good
breakfast.
Hungry
good dinner.
dragons is what it is.
Good foodstuffs.
So this one has weird sound anyway, or at least it has since we've started it. There's been some updates since our last introduction.
Which was a while ago, I will completely own up to.
Was at
Holy cow, we
least-
actually kind of forgot about this game for a while, personally.
At least a couple of months, anyway.
Yeah.
So, I've been here on and off, and there's, it's okay. Let's go to the camera. Let's look at this weird boy. He's wiggly.
We have the
This is
biggest
the
weird
biggest wiggle boy.
caterpillar wiggle boy.
Yep. So this was their Halloween special dragon. You can still buy him. They just released him then, and people could get him sooner or through the event. But yeah, that's the Halloween boy. He looks at you and he's like blah 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 blah.
He
He's
also
very
has
cute.
no throat. I love it. He just has a tongue.
Just a tongue, just a blah blah blah
This is
blah.
'cause- and you're like, look, it's the inside of my hand. He has no
It's the
throat, so
blah,
he
blah,
literally
blah, blah.
doesn't eat anything.
He's a sock puppet. He's the
Yes.
most sock puppet. Look at his cute face.
The Saki puppet.
Anyway, so we have a sock puppet.
Yep.
And I skipped over some dragons to get him because he was on sale, and sale was better than not sale.
Oh, Sail is much better.
So ultimately, if we go all the way back to the tiniest little dragon at the beginning,
Yep.
here's our dragon with our special pet, who I really haven't used much because while it was the metal, super cool, here's your, pet of bonus, for signing up early, it's okay. It's not my favorite. And,
Well, we're
but-
talking about the little rainbow
Sorry, the little
unicorn.
unicorn here. That's the pet versus the dragon, which is with the chef hat. That's the
Yeah.
dragon. Anyway, you can assign the same pet to multiple dragons in case you haven't seen our first video or any of the others. This dragon's got a costume on. The chef hat was a costume too.
Yep.
Anyway, they do tournaments in this
One
game,
also has
which
a
they
costume.
did.
They've all, I think, got costumes.
Most of them have costumes. The two-headed dragon was fun. This one is non-costumed.
Yeah.
He's just basic. He's such a basic boy. This one too. Super basic. Basic. This one's actually kind of funny looking. Hang on. So if I go to the photo, this guy's got some features on his ass cheeks because he's dummy thick.
It's the clap of his ass cheeks. Honestly, he always looks like he has a mosquito coming out of his butt.
Okay, I
There's a
could
little
see that
eyes
with the
and a little-
proboscis.
Yeah, I like the proboscis.
And then this guy I didn't get because I didn't care to get him because I had a better dragon coming up, and I just went for that.
And you got
so I got this
Poseidon.
guy, Poseidon, because he was super on sale. And then after I bought Poseidon, it triggered a super sale over on
Gold
this
Heist.
guy, but I couldn't afford it, so it timed out, and the next sale walked over to Gold Heist, which I imagine would have just triggered consecutively had I bought them all consecutively.
Right.
But I didn't have quite enough gems to buy Draconis, so I
Yeah.
missed him. Anyway.
Wasn't he only like 50% off the other guy?
No, he was 80. They were all 80.
Really?
Yeah, it was
How
a good
is that
deal.
dude more expensive than Gold Heist? Gold Heist was released later.
But I won a contest, and I
Uh,
had more gems when Gold Heist was on sale. That's what you're missing.
That's the detail.
That's the detail.
devil
So-
is in the detail.
See, what you're missing is I didn't have enough gems, but then I had way more than enough gems right after the sale.
Oh, what
ended.
I did is I farted out a bunch of
So,
gems.
something new. They've added some new pets. They've also,
They've changed
it
the
up
drop
a little bit.
rates.
They've changed
a
the drop
lot.
rates. They've also changed the system of pets. So it used to be if you would hatch an egg and you had that pet already, then you would get gold fragments, and those fragments would add up to a golden egg.
However, they were
And that
shitty
gold
as
egg
hell.
you could hatch and so possibly get a really fantastic, or you would guaranteed get an epic pet. However, they added this thing. These are experimental dragons. So if you didn't see, I tapped the little jar over here.
Yep.
And the experimental dragon I bought is Electrozoa.
Electrozoa.
And I am sad because I already upgraded him a little bit and didn't get to show you on screen because, go back to my boy. No, I need Electrozoa. Anyway, but he didn't used to have two tails. He used to only have one tail. So we'll look at this boy for a second. So you can see him over the cauldron of he's clearly experimental. We accidentally added Chemical X and we didn't get Powerpuff Girls. Oh, sorry.
I mean, that could be a Powerpuff Girl. You never know.
Could be. Who knows? We could put them in a cute dress.
Yeah, it could. It'd
Anyway,
look adorable.
so down here you have their stats, which I can't show you by tapping on because it freaks out.
Yep.
So we've got their health, their their electrical power, well, in this case, which would be flame.
Energy.
Their energy, and then their speed.
Yep.
Okay, and you can use the golden fragments now, which I've got a reasonable amount of up here, to upgrade them, and they go from different sizes. So what I didn't know is that here you see the bolt balance. So when you get these various other upgrades, it seems like the dragon changes. So I'm going to buy the rest of these on screen real quick. Right now, he's teeny tiny. He's a little worm, and he only has access to the main area of flying. But we are going to upgrade him.
Oh no.
And he's going to get bigger. I can equip 3 pets now. Cool.
Can eat new prey. Nice.
Good job. But he didn't change.
Maybe he got bigger on the screen.
Yeah. We'll level him up some more. I'm leveling him pretty evenly because I don't really super prioritize any of these. See, now he has 3 tails. See, he changed again.
That. They should show that much more, like, with detail. It seems like they're kind of...
So he is changing as we upgrade him. Blah, 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 blah,
is he going to end up being like a kaiju?
I don't...
From Pacific Rim, which you still haven't seen, and I'm very disappointed. Everyone in the comments immediately starts shouting how Liz is a dork and needs to go watch freaking Pacific Rim.
Me going, I don't know if he's like a kaiju since I haven't seen Pacific Rim, because I'm a dork.
Nope, looks like knife head to me, but that's okay, keep going.
I mean, he does kind of have a knife head going on.
Kind of does.
Right there. So, yeah. All right.
Size! Woo!
Size increased. You can eat new prey because you can. Yes, good job. You can also go to new areas with a size increase. Now, we're almost out, so I'm going to buy more health because this babby dies real easy. Okay? So that's how you upgrade them.
But not only that, so the thing about when you get a duplicate pet, originally when you got a duplicate common pet, you got what, 1?
You got 1, and then you got a rare pet, you would get 3, and you got a super rare pet, you'd get 5.
Right.
And they've upgraded that.
Shitty to deal with, honestly.
And it took 50 pieces altogether to get a golden egg to guarantee an ultra rare pet.
Right.
But then after about the first egg, it counted up.
Right.
And it was going to take like 75 to get the second egg. Anyway.
Yep. It was bad.
It's pretty bad. So anyway.
Honestly, this game, we have had this weird experience with it going. It almost looks like they're struggling with this game.
And trying to help people get into it more. Look at the witches in the background. They're all like,
the stuff that they added in, we were actually both really super surprised because we forgot about it for so long. We came back and was like, there's so much stuff suddenly in here. Like, they just rammed as much as they could back into it because they had so little. Because when we initially started playing this, it's like, this seems to be Hungry Dragon, the light version.
Kind of,
like, it was very difficult to get pets. It was very difficult to customize anything. The outfits, I think, basically the optional costumes
are still specific to each dragon.
But
and
also
can't be moved.
they're also not really helpful. Like when you were in Hungry Shark, which is made by Ubisoft, so a lot of that seems like they've gotten worse about like keeping the special things and going, well, they're important enough, but that's only because they say so. And honestly, it's like you made these to be way more fun. Like, these kind of mechanics in other games. Why the heck should I play this game?
Yeah, and so anyway, this game seemed like a stripped-down version of Hungry Shark, which we both really like in some ways. And so, yeah.
I mean, Hungry Shark feels like it constantly keeps rewarding you. Like, you constantly, usually have some ability to interact with it. While this game is very difficult to interact with, especially in the beginning, and once they started changing a couple things, it seems a little better, but I don't know whether or not their attempts to change it is actually going to save it at all.
I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't seem like there's frequently a lot of players. So if we go here, there's a tournament open right now.
Right.
Which I haven't played yet. So they do tournaments fairly regularly, just like in Hungry Shark. The nice thing about here is they equalize the tournaments. And I talked about this before, where everyone gets exactly the same pet, exactly the same dragon, and, so and exactly the same parameters. Fly as many meters as you can in a single run.
Hang on. Did they have witches summon this dragon?
Yeah, the witches are the ones that are over the cauldron for the experimental dragons. The witches make the experimental dragons.
See, the thing is, I'm like, you should also vaguely then go into some of the story, because, it's one thing you really haven't done in Hungry Shark. Why not do that with Hungry Dragon?
There's no world building spoken about in here.
I know, it's lame.
It is unspoken world building. So I'm just supposed to fly as far as I can in
You're huge.
minute, but I can't seem to boost. I don't. I'm moving so freaking slow. What's going on?
You're like
Holy
the
cow.
size.
And I am the slowest thing ever. Holy crap, am I slow?
Wow.
Why am I so slow? This is the most weirdest contest. Fly as far as you can, but you can't really fly at all? This is bizarre.
Bezor?
Bezor. This is a Bezor. I don't know how to fly far if I can't really fly.
Can't you dive and get much, like, a larger distance?
No, because usually throwing yourself up into the great beyond flings you. But he can't even go into the great beyond.
Ouch.
So, like, I don't know what the deal is here. Like, I have got nothing on this contest. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to do.
This guy is enormous.
And he's also crawling. I've never seen a dragon move so slow. That's weird as heck. Anyway, what I was going to say about the contests is that in general, they don't have many participants. So it suggests not many people playing the game. Like, right now, you've only got a total of 13 participants in the entire contest.
And this is consistently, and we've actually noticed, so some of them where they're literally like, here, get 5 million of this, 10 million of that, blah, 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 whatever. We've gone, there's no way
that we as a people are doing that.
That we as a group of people have done that.
Anyway, so with your experimental dragons, there are also contests. There's a league, and as you upgrade them, you can do better in the league. So right now, let's see. I need to get 4 flying pigs. So you can earn the golden egg chips to buy and upgrade your dragon by doing missions. So the missions with the regular dragons give you gold, and then these missions give you egg chips so you can upgrade your dragon.
Nice.
So we are going to do that.
And you also need, obviously, the egg chips with gems to be able to purchase the next set of the special sparkle experimental dragons.
Yeah, to purchase the other experimental dragons, which I paid eggs and gems for this one. He was just my favorite of the 3 random ones. I'm like, it's an
Holy cow,
he's a lot
huge.
bigger. He was tiny before, and now he's really big.
It also has 3 tails, and it's wild.
Weird root monster. Okay, now I can go into areas I've never gone into before with this boy, and I'm gonna do it.
Well, and that's the other thing, too. So, sorry for us to keep kind of harping on it. Maybe I am, but I'm just kind of going, I feel it's kind of weird, because there's not a lot of diversity in any of these levels. There's also one major hub, but it's the only world. It's not even a hub, it's just one world.
Yeah, so in Hungry Shark, which is really, this is just a game driven by the mechanics of that game, where you're flying instead of swimming. You have different parts of the world you can go to on an actual planetary map, and they have very different thematic elements to them. This one is a singular map, which I'll show you here in just a second, and all it is one world, like Scandal just said. So you go here to the map, you zoom out like crazy, and all
sure,
of this,
you've got areas that are blocked off by size, restrictions.
Yeah,
but that doesn't necessarily extend your game any, I feel.
What I was gonna say
that's just
is,
sort of a weird artificial block of being like, okay, you can't go here, you're not powerful enough level. But that's not, once you get all of it, why would you ever go back?
When you
there's nothing else.
When you have a small dragon, you can really only go in this main world right around here, because you can't break through this X that was here that I just broke through. Mm-hmm. And there's the other X's, they're blocked off by the power of your dragon. So this other part of the world you can only go to once your dragon's powerful enough to break through these various barriers.
Yep.
And in case anyone's wondering what the reveal bonus is for, it will show you where the hungry letters are, which lets you go into a feeding frenzy if you get all of them, spelling the word hungry, and also where the daily chests are if you're in regular mode. Yep. You don't get daily chests as a special experimental dragon.
Yeah.
But you do get your different quests. But see how I was saying the sound was weird?
Yeah,
hear how you can hear
remember.
almost nothing? Does
Hungry Shark do the same thing? No, it has way more screaming, way more background noise.
It has sound everywhere.
This game is super quiet. And we actually both were like, is this game even working?
Yeah, when we first started it, we were wondering if the sound was working properly.
It was dead quiet.
Yeah, because there's only sound in a couple of places. And then, of course, like you can hear now, when you're fire rushing. Right. But your normal sound...
Yeah, like that's nothing.
Very quiet.
Oh, nothing.
Ooh, do you hear nothing?
Mild levels of ambient noise, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because sometimes you don't want to, overwhelm your player, but I'm also going, this feels very slapdash, thrown together kind of thing, especially considering the quality of other games nowadays. And I get that this is supposed to be basically a fee-to-pay, kind of thing.
Free to play.
No, fee to pay.
This is a freemium model.
Yeah.
You do not have to pay to play.
No, not at all.
So it is free to play.
It is free to play, I know.
See, and then you find music in some of the areas. Yep. This area suddenly has music because of the area.
And it also always feels like very poorly balanced, in my opinion. You know that thing where you watch some movies and you go, oh my god, that blew my ears out for 5 seconds?
right? Like horror movies or action movies.
Right.
It was fine and it was quiet, and then suddenly it was
And
not.
sometimes, though, you go, oh my god, I was actually literally straining to hear what actors were saying because they're so quiet.
And then
Then suddenly you really can't hear them because they decide to fling all the noise at you. They're like, here's the orchestra, and you're like, I'm very proud of you, John Williams, turn it down.
Turn it down!
Holy shit!
I cannot watch this movie. You know, I like the TVs actually that have sound balancing. I understand that it limits the emotional experience of your movie, but when it makes all of it the same loudness, it's much easier to watch it at night or in like a roommate or family situation where you have other people who don't want to hear what you're listening to.
Or just the fact that you could actually watch the movie. I don't know. I've always found it to be irritating, personally, of being like, I really couldn't hear you very well, and now I can hear you even less because you're booming into my existence, you know?
I don't have a problem with hearing the booming. I just don't really enjoy it. Eat more, but I don't have more to eat. There's nothing here right now. That's one of the main complaints we also had about Hungry Dragon, was that the food seems a lot more sparse and harder to find. So there's a lot more starving to death than in the shark game, at least the way we have played it. Unfortunately, going, I don't know why this is a problem, but I can't seem to ever find enough food.
Well, and that's the thing about the pets. They don't seem to be very helpful.
I mean, some
They're
of them are
kind of.
more food-oriented than others.
Yeah, but it's also like, I don't know.
And if you put on one pet that gives you spider food bonuses, and one that gives you goblin food bonuses, and one that gives you like livestock food bonuses or whatever there are,
Right.
ghost food bonuses, I don't know, maybe.
That
birds.
one actually makes
it's
it so you
birds.
can eat
How does
ghosts,
it?
so I think is the one you're thinking about.
No, it just eats the ghost for you.
Oh,
It doesn't actually give it to you.
Oh, lame.
It's not like Jelly Eater.
Oh, lame.
So there's in general you can't eat regular jellyfish in Hungry Shark, but there's a special booster. We'll say power up that
I think
allows
it's
you.
a temporary power up. Yeah, it's not a
that'll-
permanent thing.
allows you to eat jellyfish for a round. And there is a pet that eats ghosts. It doesn't allow you to eat ghosts, it just eats ghosts. I can crush the cage now. I used to bunk my nose into that thing.
So much.
So much bunking of nose.
You're a tiny baby. You're
was
a tiny noodle.
Very small noodle. Best quality Wiggles.
And the wiggles.
I also want to show all of you the leggy dragon because it's hilarious.
The caterpillar
It is
dragon.
so
They're like, it's so creepy. And I'm like,
wiggly
it just
and
looks like
loopy.
a caterpillar with this big fat head and this like tiny little neck and then suddenly a weird huge body.
And it's very loopy and wiggly. Like this one's a little loopy and wiggly. The one with the mini footers is super wiggly and loopy.
Super wiggle loop.
Wiggle loop. Best quality Wiggles.
Wiggle loop.
Okay, see, and now we have music over here in the spooky area.
Uh-huh. But again, there's not really like
Can I go in?
roaring or
Yes, I can go
fighting
in.
or anything.
One of the things I really like about this dragon is that he does shoot out lightning bolts, so that when you boost, you use your beam power, and you don't actually have to catch all of your food. That's one of the things that made me happiest about this guy, is because... Oh, fire rush. It's the
Time
fire
to
rush!
rush with your fire on.
Is that he doesn't actually have to get his face on all the food to eat it, which is great. Uh-oh.
Oh,
It's a
no.
mega fire rush into the void! Mega fire rush into the void!
With the crumbling embers at the bottom of the page. I
Oh,
love
that's
it.
good. Excellent. No, because we're burning through the value of it.
Yeah.
Alright, I don't know where I am because I don't know the map of this place very well, but I am gonna, like, rack up that score like crazy while I don't know where I am. Yay!
Yeah.
So I find this area to be a little bit creepy because there's really a lot of, like, eggs and larva stuff going on, and I'm not particularly fond of eating bugs because I have a thing about dead bugs.
You really do.
I have I guess the best word would be a phobia. And it's not live bugs, it's dead bugs.
It's specifically dead
So
bugs.
to eat them, they become dead and or are dead. And so dead bugs, creepy, not cool.
Is it? No.
No. So
No,
so the
thanks,
dragon
I hate it.
eating larvae and bugs and things makes me a little uncomfortable. Is the big boy down here? Can I eat it yet? Oh, there's music in here too.
Oh. Well, if you could actually dive, that's the other thing that I'm
The diving mechanic I don't understand very well either, because you go down a little bit and then you cap out. See how I'm still pointing down, but it's not letting me go down anymore?
Yeah.
And so I don't know what that is. I've been trying to figure it out, and I know it happens and it's consistent. It's not like irregular or anything, but I'm going, why can't I go down any farther?
Right.
And why can't I go down only right at first? And I've guessed like basically simulating holding breath, basically, where you are sensed to be like imagined to be holding your breath and you run out of breath and can't go any lower. But did you see the stars down there pointing downward?
Uh-huh.
It seems like there's something down there. I love the aliens in the background. There's a lot of memes in here, but see, I can't actually go any lower than that. That's all I can go with this dragon. And maybe when he gets bigger, he can go more, but I don't know. Right now, I'm going to try not to die because there's not a lot of food right here. Baby shark, do 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 do.
Aliens in the background, do 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 do. Aliens in the background, do do do.
Is that a recognizable ship? Like, is that a ship from
No, but
something?
those are greys.
Yeah, I know those are greys.
Okay.
I know what greys are.
Okay. I'm just saying that they're greys.
They're greys. Okay, in case anyone doesn't know what greys are, that is the alien design called a grey.
They are grey with big, huge, bulbous head, typically small in stature. They're sort of like E.T.
Children. They're sort of like children.
Very strange E.T. children.
They're very like children. Eat the eggs. Num 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 num.
Eat the
I feel
eggs,
like the eggs are supposed to be nodding to something
eggs,
and, you know.
Oh, probably like Alien or something like that. I don't know.
Pretty much.
Honestly, though, once you realize one series did it, everybody goes, it's all alien. And the person goes, you know that real animals have egg, right?
Real animals also have egg. Are you sure?
Are you positive?
Yes, real animals also egg.
What?
Nope, eggs are made up.
Nope, egg sacs are not a thing praying mantis have. Nope, not a thing spiders have. Nope. Not a thing that
things have.
Things have.
Not a thing that things have. Frogs don't have egg sacs, actually.
I mean, they make like egg nest bubble.
That's not the same as a sac.
I know. Well, I mean.
There's a lot of lightning.
Pardon
Pardon me while I use a whole lot of lightning. Because I need to lightning everything.
I need to lightning bolt. I need to bolt my lightning.
Oh, no. It bit me so hard. I know. The ad was do-do-do. It's Mission Impossible makeup. Does that mean it's impossible to make you look right? Is that what that is? Mission Impossible selling makeup. It's like, see, here's what should happen.
Oh, that sounds
when you go up into
Hang on,
Starsphere.
stop it. That sounds very weirdly like body shamey suddenly going, it's impossible to make you makeup. We make you makeup that will actually make you look
right. The
good.
Mission Impossible is choosing good makeup for you.
And, actually getting something that you will think makes you look good
nice.
And socially acceptable.
Unacceptable. I prefer to look unacceptable.
Personally, I love the unacceptable look. I really like going outside and slathering dog shit on my face. That's just my personal,
Okay, so I prefer hygiene. Hygiene, friend. I can go unacceptable, but I must draw the line at hygiene. I
always love that one. Hey, if you wear makeup, it must mean you have good hygiene. Actually, no.
Actually,
there was a whole reason why plenty of people actually used a lot of makeup was because, makeup and perfumes, because you smelled bad. And because you were gross. So people put on things to cover up things they actually didn't like.
Yeah. Perfume was generally about making you smell good when you hadn't Hadn't bathed.
I'm a pave the way to bathing.
You didn't pave yourself. You're unpavedable.
Whoa!
I got hit by the bomb.
I don't understand.
Poof! I am back! So
all right.
The bomb blew me to pieces. If you didn't see what that was.
Pieces.
Alright,
so there's something that just happened that made you very grumpy. What was it?
What? Trucks
Flies.
Different than cars?
No.
Okay.
You see, it was in the mob for the
Psycho. So we're watching an anime called Mob Psycho 100, and while, if you haven't heard of it, it sounds a little dark, it's actually not super dark. It's really about a character named Mob, meaning he's your every guy. He looks like absolutely anyone in a crowd. Very average.
Character in the background.
And your background character is your foreground character, your actual protagonist in this one.
Yep.
And he's a psychic, which is, Mob Psycho, because he loses control of his psychic powers when he hits 100% uncontrolled emotion. So Mob Psycho 100.
Yep.
Anyway, pretty simple title once you break it down. No big deal. He's a middle schooler. He's actually kind of a cinnamon roll. He's a fairly soft kid. He doesn't want to rely on his psychic powers for everything, so he honestly wants to learn how to do things in a fairly normal way. So he works really hard to try and learn skills that don't depend on psychic powers.
Right.
But
and he
other
finds
than
them
that,
to be more valuable actually when you learn them without psychic powers, because he's like, you're not really learning. You're just sort of fubbing your way through things.
Anyway, so I get frustrated when characters are inconsistent with their knowledge. Okay, this is one of my like pet peeves of just media in general. So in this case, you have an episode where Mob fights a bad guy, and quote bad guy. We'll use bad guy generically. I'm not going to spoil everything about the episode, about the entire show, right? But Mob fights a bad guy, and the bad guy thought he was the only psychic in the world based on the show's canon at that point.
Right.
He thought he was the only one, and he's stunned to see Mob going, there's another one? I'm not the only one? Oh my god. Now, first of all, since I've had everything I've ever wanted because of my psychic powers, I am going to establish a hierarchy. We're going to play with this big noodle.
Never play the big noodle.
We're going to play the big noodle while we talk about this.
Yay, big noodle!
Okay, so here we go. So anyway, so the other guy is like, I'm going to beat you up to prove that I'm more powerful than you.
To make you bow to me.
And then you're going to answer my questions of what do you know about being a psychic that I don't know, and I'm not alone, and that's so wild, right?
Right.
Then not 2 episodes later, you have this guy going, oh yeah, there's a whole society of psychic people. They've been
really
following
like
me.
2 to 3 episodes later.
No, it's 2.
Yeah, well, as I said, it's in there.
There's nothing that happens in the meantime to make this character really different from what he was knowledge-wise or experience-wise. But what's really profound about him and why he fights Mob is because he's going, I'm not the only one. There's another one like me. I had no idea. I need to establish a hierarchy with us. And then, of course, Mob beats the tar out of him. Doesn't mean to, but it happens anyway. He is humbled to a point of going, hang on, maybe I am normal. And it's a really profound, thoughtful moment. It's actually super cool. Then, not 2 episodes later, Mob's brother gets kidnapped. That is absolutely a spoiler, forgive me. And he meets with this guy again, and the guy's like, oh yeah, your brother was kidnapped by the secret society of psychics. They've been tracking me for years. They're super dangerous, and you should stay away from them. They'll kill you. And that completely and utterly invalidates everything he said about him
and
being
his
the
own
only
emotional experience too. If like I thought I was the only one of going, I need to prove how much better I am than you. I didn't quite get it when it first popped up, but you really like.
I hit it in 2 seconds. I paused the episode and I went, what even the hell? Like, it took me 2 seconds to go, excuse me, what is your canon? Like, because the episode before last had been really profound to me. It had been very meaningful that the other character had gone, I'm not alone. And not only does that scare me and make me uncomfortable, but it also inspires me and gives me a bunch of hope. But going, since I've always been, the powerhouse in my entire reality, I'm now have to prove that I still am. In face with this other psychic, right? And then he's like, oh yeah, these other psychics that have been tracking me for 2 years and that I know all about, and let me tell you about them. I'm like, what?
But that completely contradicts basically your character moment.
This reminds me of some of the things that are written like weekly, episodically, or some of the more recent complaints about actually the Harry Potter fandom, where they've been like, you can't just have an emotional experience that's profound and meaningful just because you want it and then take it away and still expect, and then basically invalidate it canonically later.
Yeah.
But we got to have that experience, and that's what's important. It's like, no. That's not what's important at all. That character's development means nothing if that experience wasn't real.
It was all... So this is the argument against dream books, right? For if anybody's ever read a novel, and then you get towards the end of it, or pretty much at the end, and suddenly it's like, and then it was all a dream. So there's been some accusations. I don't know if anybody in the audience has ever been forced to read a book called The Giver.
Oh.
There were lots of people who got really angry for a while, or were really desperate to go, it has to be a dream, or can't be a dream, kind of thing. That basically, so by the end, most people assumed that the main character of The Giver, so this is going to be huge spoilers, y'all.
Huge spoiler!
Yeah, you can listen or not, I don't care. You probably had to read it, I'm assuming so, because we're in the United States. The main character dies. That was immediately how everybody read the entire thing. The main character and the little baby, Gabe, I cannot remember the name of the main character because he actually pissed me off later, but...
They die, and they die in a meaningful way.
Yep, pretty much. And it was very sad. It really, like, I was reading the thing at work again several years ago, when I personally worked at McDonald's.
And I still can't quite make it to the bottom, even with this huge boy.
And I cried in the drive-thru while reading through this thing again. I'm going, this is horrific, kind of thing. Of like, this just true, like, longing sadness to have this experience from this isolated society and having this basically pipe dream that
To have something more.
to so desperately want to have an emotional experience that basically everybody's been cut off from for so long. And the character dies. And then suddenly I discovered several years later while I was working at another job and I was able to actually listen to audiobooks at the time, I suddenly discovered that no, he hadn't died. And he was very solidly alive, and this is the thing that he had found in the outside world, and it had really happened, and this was just an isolated, tiny little colony in somewhere, basically, I think in the United States, as far as I remember where they said it was thematically, like where it was actually placed or whatever, like the setting, and going, nope, this is actually, and I was like, wait, you just took that away?
Yeah.
Like, and lots of people wanted it to be that, but it was also like, you really did, and not only that, the society that he ended up in, and this is more kind of a critique of the fact that they completely lost me in the world, like the author, she really lost me in her companion books, because it's more than one.
It is.
And they lost me because I went, this feels super just destructive and very weird and sort of, I don't even know, it frustrated me, but it was kind of one of those moments of going, you really did. You just tried to hand us this moment where, actually, I think what Liza is actually referring to is, I don't think anybody will be terribly upset if we spoil this for them.
Hang on. Let's wrap up the first thought first.
Okay.
What I was really upset about was basically that the author built up a profoundly meaningful thing in Mob Psycho.
Right.
And then in the next episode, they exposit, or 2 episodes later, they exposited information that suggested this wasn't true at all. And I feel like that's bad writing, because while you might go, well, characters can't be remembered and expected to have all their information straight at all times, all the time, you know, because nobody's perfect writing things. 1, this is a team translating it to an anime. But 2, I'm like, if that's what was emotionally important about the episode, and it really was, as far as anything I can tell, then you really are going, let's have this profound emotional experience together, and then
take it away.
And not really take it away, but then invalidate it. So, like, it wasn't real based on new information we're giving you. And then you go, okay, so is this character totally a weird liar that doesn't make sense, saying I'm not the only one? Or did he forget the rest of the society existed, or he just hasn't met any of them, so he didn't count them? Like, how does this come together canonically to work? So the Harry Potter thing I was mentioning is what Scandal's going to talk about right now, where essentially they did something similar, where there was a very meaningful emotional loss or change in the story. And then later, canon, they went back on it.
Yeah, so we actually haven't seen the second Newt Scamander book. Movie. Holy
you gotta watch the books. They're great.
Watch the books.
There's so many pages to see.
Oh, God, I love seeing the words. Anyway, so, I'm sorry, I'm kind of tired. So, but it was an interesting thing, I thought, to view in the first one, because it was really harsh, actually, where you really do connect to, I felt, Newt's experience in the first movie for, you know, Newt Scamander and the Fantastic Beasts thing. And one of the characters in there that, you know, he actively keeps trying to save from themselves because they've basically become a monster, ends up getting killed at the end, right?
Oh, that piece. You're going about that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you have that, and then as far as we come to find out, because we had been debating about going to go see The Crimes of Grindelwald, and we decided ultimately not to because, honestly, it just looked kind of crappy. And at least for me, I was super not impressed with the twist that Grindelwald is Johnny Depp. I really liked the original guy that they had, that he was apparently polyjuicing himself or had transfigured himself to fucking look. I don't know. I don't remember his name. But I was super irritated because I went, no, and he looks like a complete edgelord. Like, he just looks ridiculous. I've got this wild, psychotic hair where he did not fit within the canon of the story itself anyway from the previous movies, where he looked like a normal guy. And then suddenly he's got weird heterochromia.
At any rate, the thing that Scandal is headed towards... let me rein you in just a tiny bit. Just a little bit.
But basically what happened is, so then in the second movie, apparently that character's perfectly fine.
The character that was in great danger of exploding.
And they did.
The entire movie did, in fact, explode and die, and then he hadn't exploded and died.
And the thing is, as far as I understand, this is purely from reviews, so you'll have to excuse both of us here, particularly me, because I was the one who mostly looked up this going, holy cow, are you kidding? This looks ridiculous. Was that then they don't even really bother trying to explain it. They just go, well, he's alive, who cares?
Except for they don't even say any of that. He just shows up again.
Yep, he's just there. And it's like, okay.
So it'd be like if you watched a movie and your favorite character dies in a glorious finale explosion of doom. Except for, they never say he dies. You just see his body being torn apart and overtaken by a threat that you'd seen growing inside of him the entire movie. And it finally overcomes him. But they don't say he dies. They just show it explicitly,
and everybody
as many movies
really
do.
Having a rack of a time.
And many people are very, very sad about this thing, and everyone else who's had the same condition really does die.
That's how they explain it. They're like, no, period. This kills people. This is all this is.
It just kills people. And so he died of his condition, and then in the next movie was back for no reason.
Yep, just back.
And it was weird. The idea is weird. Again, we haven't watched it, and lots of reviewers have said this. I don't believe they're all lying. It just sounds super weird.
And it also is that level of basically going, again, if we had this very powerful emotional moment, like with the antagonist that Mob ended up facing off with, and then suddenly going, oh yeah, these people that I have totally been keeping tabs on that have followed me around and I know totally exist with hundreds of other espers, even though I had this dramatic, painful, screaming experience. You cannot
be better than me.
Yeah, because you're the only other one I have ever seen, and I have to prove basically that my worldview is valid by defeating you because I am more powerful than everyone else, and of course Mob beats the shit out of him.
Which, as I said, he didn't do intentionally, but happened anyway, because Mob's very powerful.
Mob is a cinnamon roll.
And he's very sweet.
I was like, I really like this character, and I've had a very weird experience vaguely where I was finally, like, so for me, I went around trying to find a couple of reviews about this before we started watching this series, and it was very interesting to watch. Most people would be like, well, Mob is kind of boring to begin with, and he gets better, and I'm kind of like, are you guys nuts? Mob is a sweet, like, tender-hearted soul. How could you?
Yeah, like, he seems very gentle and has very good intentions.
And has a lot of problems.
And works very hard to better himself throughout.
And also, again, though, is, very emotionally stunted in his own way, but I feel like what he is he's so subtle. You know, I don't know, I found it to be weird in that area. I appreciate that y'all are allowed to have your opinion, but I do not agree. I think Mob is far more interesting than you want to give him credit for, because y'all can't handle a chill shonen protagonist.
So I was trying to get into the series with my good friend Scandal here, and I was starting to like things about it and go, okay, there's bits that I like in the first episode, and then I've disengaged a little bit, and then there's bits that I really liked in, like, the third episode. I liked the first battle with the, major battle with the antagonist. I liked some of the other reveals. It was interesting. And then when suddenly this other character, whose their major emotional point had been, I'm not the only one, at least that was the piece of it that I picked up on, of the various things they expressed. That was what I picked up as being the most important thing, because that's why he decided to fight Mob, was because I need to establish a pecking order right now with the only other person in the world who's like me.
Yeah.
And then when he just casually goes off immediately about, oh yeah, there's this whole society of psychics that are just like us, super powerful, they're collecting them, there's 100 of them. I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. And if he just said it like, hey, there's a society of these things, that's fine. Because you could go, okay, maybe he figured that out in the last 2 episodes. But when he goes, they've been following me for 2 years.
No, he said for years. In the translation,
that
he just said years.
Okay.
It really just said 4 years. They've been following me for 4 years, and I had this moment going, he's in middle school. How freaking long have they been I was an infant, and I crawled from the womb.
And I noticed these people were following me. It was the first thing I understood in my consciousness. My tender consciousness.
But I had a superpower. And then, actually, so the thing is we have to say, we've also paused the episode at this middle point. It hasn't gone any further, because Lies really did just
I was just done. I was so angry.
You're like, I have completely lost my suspension of disbelief. Goodbye, nurse.
It was beautiful, because my friend was watching this episode, and I was watching this episode, and then I just reach over, I just say, I have lost it. My suspension of disbelief is gone, and I reach over and I pause it. My friend stares at me like, what happened? Something happened. As they said, they didn't notice right away what it was.
Well, because it was, again, thinking about it, I'm like, that was really
the character
out of left field, and I was taking a moment going, this doesn't sound right.
But I don't know why yet. But I knew why, because the other thing was meaningful enough to me to have this really be a slap to the face.
Yeah, which is very frustrating. And part of me wants to be like, we should probably continue watching the episode to see what the other characters basically yell back going, hey, by the way, you mentioned this thing, what kind of bullcrap are you full?
You know what'd be great is if actually the writers did do that and they went and they had Mob and Dimple both look at him and go, hang on, you said you thought you were the only one. And he goes, oh, I forgot about that, and does the little hand wave thing.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so those are the updates on Hungry Dragon. Because we know you are totally still watching the game.
If you've gotten this far, remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
We would love it if you would like or comment or subscribe. It would be great. So this boy makes me laugh so much because the little warthog tail that you saw just sticking straight up in the air.
Or the little baby kitten tail.
Oh, look. It has passed midnight.
Oh, no.
And we get an obligatory ad past midnight.
It's frustrating.
Just past midnight and the Mogwais are turning into obligatory ads.
The thing is that you're always past midnight.
It's true. Every place
I
in
have
the world,
always
you're
been bothered by that. For ever since I was a kid, going, it's past midnight. Being like, isn't it always past midnight, though?
If there was one day of midnight ever, it's always past. Well, it's past midnight on that day in the time zone they're in made-up time zones.
But the thing is that you're always past midnight until you reach the next midnight, and then that's midnight, and then you pass midnight again.
Purple egg.
Yay! Tap an egg! Tap an egg.
This is how you open eggs.
Oh, you
Go
tap
egg.
on them.
Yep.
They open.
We got a ball hog. See, and there's
And
the 10 gold fragments.
Yep.
So that's your basic ball hog. Is a really basic pet, most ordinary pet, and we got 10 fragments from him.
Woo.
So we now have more than we did. We can go back to our experimental dragon.
Oh God! Do you want to mention real fast that one advertisement for this game that we saw? Also, one of the reasons why we think this game isn't doing very well. Okay, guys. So we popped into this game at one point recently, and there was an advertisement for a super rare pet. For $30.
Oh.
That was the only offer.
Yeah, it's gone now.
It was
So
terrible.
It was one pet, just one,
a
for
super
$30.
rare pet that was
no
a plus
gems,
10%, I think.
No anything. It
What
did
was
something. It froze things, didn't it?
I don't know, but I thought that was bullcrap.
It was super weird.
I was like, $30 for a pet?
Hang on, it should be in here in the Epic Pets, and we just don't have it. It should be... It's a little squishy fish thing, because it should still be available, we just don't have it unlocked. Hang on, no, I don't see it, actually. Hang on, where's the little squishy tiny leg fish thing? Because it looks kind of like a puffer fish with little, like, prenatal limbs. But I don't see it. Huh.
I really don't know. But it was really one of those I just had this reaction to going, are you kidding?
It was very strange.
It was bad. That's one of those things where I just be like, what is the deal with basically spending this amount of money? Like, sure, it was free, fine.
Here it is. Spits fireballs. It was this pet. It was this pet right here you could buy for $30 by itself. It just spits fireballs.
Yep.
I don't know why that's super cool, because we have one that shoots a horn blast, and I don't find that to be super valuable or useful at all, really. Like, I don't really use it very much at all. Now, unlimited boost, I would be on board for that all the time.
But also at the same time, at least what I have with that is going, I'd never spend $30 on a single pet that doesn't open up or do anything else.
No, me
Like,
neither.
for me, I'm going, I don't understand. The stuff like this doesn't work on me because I get super critical of it. I guess maybe if you'd enjoyed it, but why would you spend $30 on a single thing?
And it doesn't remove... I specifically say it removes ads. It doesn't give you any more coins or gems. It doesn't do
It was just
anything.
to get the pet.
It was just the pet.
Wild. The madness was telling. I was like, are you kidding? This is also where we both went, you've got to be kidding, because...
You can buy 10 gems for $1, or you can buy 100 gems for $2.
Right.
Or 53 gems for $5.
That's...
So always check your special offers versus your normal offers, all right? Always do that.
Yeah, and also realize, guys, they're going to have flash sales all the time. They're going to try to convince you. You really have to decide what your priorities are and how much time. Like, don't let people talk you into crap or basically try to advertise you into things that...
Costumes.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about costumes.
Yeah, okay.
Costumes. That's a ghosting costume. Yay.
And it gives you...
There's your not Tron costume.
They have so many of those.
Sorry, and then here's your not racist costume. Oh, I'm sorry. And here's another one.
That's also vaguely not racist. And
definitely. Super not racist.
Uh-huh, very much.
Uh-huh. Anyway.
Because it's a puffus.
So, you can buy costumes, and you can see over here they do things. This one gives you extra food. This one gives you less mine damage. This one gives you more coins.
Uh-huh.
This one here is less arrow damage. I feel like they don't do enough. One of the things that bothers me about Hungry Dragon versus Hungry Shark is in Hungry Shark you can put a lot of different accessories on them. One for the fin and one for the, head and the face and the tail, that kind of thing. and they all add up to more bonuses together. This one just is a single costume.
Yep.
Also, there are daily
rewards.
rewards. There didn't used to be daily rewards, and now there are. So there's that. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
Anyway.
I'm Liz.
And I am Scandal.
Thank you so much for joining us. It was lovely to have you. Please like or subscribe or comment or share this video, or go and check out our other videos if there were some things you liked about this, but you'd like to see what other content we offer.
And honestly, if there's a discussion that we've had that we haven't finished because we were just having a discussion about this, please feel free to tell us if you want us to finish it out, because sometimes we cover so much
that we just don't go back to everything.
Because we're dorks. It happens.
Feel free to weigh in on topics as well. You going, I can't believe you haven't seen Pacific Rim. Oh my god.
Yep,
or whatever
everyone
it
in the
is.
comments, I'm still waiting to read all of your lordly amazing messages about how much of a dweeb Liz is for not watching Pacific Rim, which honestly is perfectly fine. Liz.
I'm such Liz.
You're Liz. But I say this though as a Godzilla fan for years, so you know, it's fine. Gojira! Anyway, I'm kind of excited for the new movie. Actually.
All right, so everybody, take care of yourselves out there. If you haven't actually drank any water, or if you're hungry and you've been on the internets for, years.
Hey, take a break, walk around. If you need to take anything, go take your stuff. If you need to go take a break, go walk outside, go breathe some air, go do something.
Unless it's freezing cold out there, then maybe just stick your head out the window for a minute.
Yeah.
All right, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.